Okay, so I'm going to call to order at 7:03 p.m. We have a member of the public who just wants to listen in. His name is Joe Anctil, Anctil. Please record that he is listening in. Joe, you have the option if you'd like to say something during this particular, very briefly during this particular support portion of the meeting, public participation.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So my name is Joe Anctil. I'm a resident of Wakefield, pretty recent resident, homeowner since 2022, the summer of 2022. And I've just been trying to think of a way to get more involved in the community. I really enjoy living here. And I've looked at various boards and committees on the Wakefield website, and this one caught my interest. And so I actually listened to your meeting last month, the recording, and I heard that you are looking for new members. I understand there's some open seats, so just exploring the opportunity and trying to figure out how I'd like to contribute to the community.
Joe, we would love to have you contribute to the community, especially as someone who is new and has fresh ideas. So please do make out that application form and send it in. It's not a very difficult form to make out.
Will do. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, we do not have a quorum, so we cannot vote on past minutes. The next is basic operations. Today, I asked our financial advisor from the administrative office to clarify some things. And Jill, did you get all the notes that, okay, I'm going to turn this part over to Jill since she's our treasurer, so she can fill you in a little bit about our good financial state.
So we have $2,199 in our budget. So I think that is the budget that started out as $3,000 for the year. So we still have $2,199 left. We also have the revolving account with $1,304 in it. And then we have a grant account that has $977.45 in it.
The good thing about having over $3,000 is we still have a major event coming up with the Asian Pacific American Heritage event in May, and that's always a big event. And we also, and today I reached out, have two events in June, flag raising for Pride Month and also Juneteenth. And there's always cost involved with that. Sometimes our bills don't come in before the end of the fiscal year, but if they do, we have plenty of money to pay those bills, to have a grand event in May and also have good events in June. So that's excellent. The next sort of operational item, unless someone, oh, Jeremy, you have a question about the money? Yes.
Yeah, actually, no, I'm going back to the quorum. How many people do we need? Because we only have 7 commissioners, right? So if we have 4,
we have to have 6 of the 11 seats we're supposed to fill.
So we need everybody basically because we don't have the 11
right.
seats filled. Okay. All right.
That's
Thanks
right.
for the clarification. So
yeah, and that is why a couple of months ago we had a quorum and we went through all of our minutes from June through September and got them all approved. And just so we have a member of the public here, yes, we have been operating on a sort of short staff this whole entire year and still have managed to put together quite a program of events all through the year, including, and we'll get to activities soon, one that we completed last week. In terms of other operations issues, yes, we have many open seats because, as it turns out, Jill, Jess, and myself are the only commissioners whose terms are not ending and who, because of term limits, can stay, well, we have 2 commissioners who cannot stay on because they've reached the end of the term limits. So we will be in May saying goodbye to Jeremy and to Teresa, unfortunately, because after 2 3-year terms, their terms are over. We will also have a new clergy council, I understand, representative who's a voting member. I'm not sure who that will be yet. I've just sort of heard that someone has already been chosen. And we will have a new student representative, and that has to also be approved. So we have quite a few openings because we have 11 voting seats to fill, including one for the clergy council, one for student. That means 9 members of the Wakefield adult public is welcome to be on this commission and to do the good work. Okay, the next item on there, resources. I have an enormous growing file of people who we can call upon if there is an issue that we need to offer people in town support, background support. And Jess, I'm going to send you, I added even more today. Thanks to our student representative, I now have the representatives from the Gay Student Alliance and from the AAPA club at the high school. There is no faculty advisor right now for the Black Student Union. Our one contact would be through the METCO program, through Glavia, who couldn't be here tonight. So and then we have in Galvin, we have a student group called the Amigo Club that Hispanic students, Latino students, Latinx students join that club. And so we have a growing diversity of student organizations we can draw on, as well as a lot of different community organizations. I recently was linked up with the person who's vice chair of disabilities for the town commission in Melrose. Mm-hmm. And so we have a lot of people who we recently gave an award to the woman who runs the Massachusetts Youth Council. They do wonderful work. And so we have this growing list that should serve us well in terms of supporting members of the community who are experiencing distress or challenge and want some help. And I'll send that to Jess. And if anyone wants to see it in advance, I'll send that Excel file to you as well, because we should be posting this on our, and Jess, where are we with that? I know.
I can add it to our shared file, and then and we can keep it in one of 2 ways. In part, I wonder whether we should keep it as a like a Google sheet as well, just because it seems like it's constantly growing or changing, and it's the shared file it's very static. I mean, we can keep uploading it and uploading a new one and uploading a new one, but since it seems like you are really actively gathering resources in an Excel file, and I would encourage anybody else, and also any of our liaisons also, to share resources, and then we can just have kind of a living document right now, because it will change so often. That's it. But we can do a shared Excel file, a shared Google sheet, and then I can also put it in our shared files at any time. But it seems like it's going to keep being updated. So we can do both if that's the most true, best way to proceed, just for covering all of our bases. But it seems to me like even if I upload it, I'll keep uploading a new one.
Okay. How about, what do you think, folks, my fellow commissioners and our liaisons? I mean, we really, I've been saving this now. I've been growing it for the last 5 years, 4 years. And it does change a lot, because especially if people are on commissions, they have terms of office. So how would you like to be able to access this information? Because you're the folks who need to access it. Jill, how would you? Oh, Jeremy, go ahead. Jeremy.
No, I was just saying, I'm wondering if we should at least put the static copy, Jess, on, like, to begin with, just in case anything happens to the
Yeah, that's,
shared
I
one,
mean,
and then my thought would be, like you said, like a Google Sheet or something where.
what I can do too, is put the static one on the drive, and then I can put a link on the static copy to a Google Sheet, to the live Google Sheet. So people can go
And then,
to, they can link, they can, because it's just a link. It's just a link to Google
yeah,
Sheets. So, and we can have it private. Like it doesn't have to be publicly shared. It can be something that we can access within our, share it with everybody in this group. But then the link is on the Excel file, and the Excel file is in our shared files.
but
And
Sherry, is it something that you want to have accessible to outside of the HRC? Like, is it, you just want it for us, right? Like, if someone
Yeah.
needs a resource, we go to it and share it with whoever requested it or whatever, right? So,
right,
yeah,
because for instance, I have the full list of all the principals and
right,
PTO people and specialty faculty at all the different schools.
yeah,
Mhm.
And, if someone wants to go onto the Wakefield website and do what I did, which is pull all that information off and put it into a file, fine. But the good thing I think about using Google Sheets shares is that we can change who gets to look at it. So as the commission changes,
Mhm.
but I have to encourage all of you to actively seek that rather than, you know, constant. I mean, I get questions from different people and I know it's on that sheet and I know I've handed out at least one format of it to everybody at one time
Mhm.
to use. And it's a reference sheet. And I want it to be, like Jess said, a living, breathing document that evolves as our contacts evolve, as what we know evolves. And again, as people change positions. Um, so, I mean, not everybody is like Amy Rando, who's been here since the very beginning, which is amazing. She holds the record. Thank you, Amy. Um, so, okay, so we're going to have sort of hybrid electronic files. We're going to have a static one that's going to have a lot of basic information.
Mhm.
And what we can do on that file is also put an indication that this information is evolving. We can change. I can change up the sheet. I'm going to edit that sheet for you, Jess, so you can see. There'll be something on there that says this is something that might change to alert people.
Mhm.
And some things are basic. But you know what? Even the email to our news media people, the item changed.
Yeah.
Even the email there changed. So even something you think is going to be static may not be. Okay, and then we're going to have a living document that will be shared periodically among all of us. And Jeremy, another suggestion, please. Yes.
yeah. I was just gonna say, and I would just encourage everyone, like, if you do use the resources and you find that one of the links is outdated, that you either update it or let share, let the team. I guess I mean, it's best if you just update the living document so that it's
Mhm.
current if you can, but that way, we kind of police it through use, so.
Yeah.
And that would be the role of the secretary ongoing, whoever that secretary will be in the coming year, because we're going to have an election at our next meeting for May 1st or May 1st. May 1st, the May meeting will have to have an election for new officers. So excellent, because, that was one of the things that from the beginning of this particular year, we really had a goal of achieving. That is to have really robust resource sheets that we could share and guidelines we can share. So that's excellent because it makes everyone's job easier. Any other questions about general operations, either financial?
Do we still have the peace flags that we got earlier in the
I
year?
have a box. Yes.
Okay, because wherever we were gonna disperse them didn't happen, right?
Oh, no, we gave out a lot of them
Oh, good.
on MLK Day.
Oh, great.
I gave out about half,
Mhm.
and I'm going to bring them to our APAH event, because that's
Okay.
always a big event.
Mhm.
And then, of course, any that we have left over, we'll bring to our Pride and Juneteenth events. I
Right.
think by the end of this year, we're not going to have any left.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay, for MLK Day, I had one of the custodians help me. We hung one on the wall as well as had a sign and say, ask for your free one. And a lot of people asked for it, which was great. They
Great.
appreciated that.
Really good.
We had, and I gave out quite a few at the Wakefield 101 as
Mhm.
well,
Mm-hmm.
to new residents. A lot of people loved it and they said, oh, I live in a condo, I can't hang it. They were disappointed, but they did really like it. And I thank you for arranging that for us.
Yeah.
Sends the
Great.
right message. Beautiful flag.
Great.
Okay. Activities. So International Women's Day. I hope if you weren't there that you had the opportunity to view the recording that WCAT did for us. When I say we had an exceptional panel, I was absolutely floored. These were such impressive group of women, including this 11th grader who truly held her own among women who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, who have long and pretty illustrious careers. And Jess was our marvelous moderator and really kept things going. And I know when a program is good, when it's over, everybody is still in the lobby talking. And everybody was, people stayed and talked, continued to speak after. So please take a look at that video because it was just, you could say a few words about it. I was so impressed.
Yeah, everybody was really great. The student representative or panelist was really great. There was the one replacement. So one of the people who was going to be on the panel ended up being asked to be at, they were going to be recognized at the State of the Union. And the replacement panelist was, I think she could have just stood up and told stories that would have been very wonderful stories. And
She was marvelous.
she had
She had a military career.
she was, as I believe you might say, she was a pip. But she's works for the Veteran Affairs, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And has her career start in the military started when she was 18. And I'll just pass this one comment. And they just asked how everyone got started. She got started because her father was going to take her to Italy to marry her off. And she said, no way. And so she joined the military.
Yeah, she was.
She ended up marrying a soldier in the end too. And
Yeah, she
having
was an
many
interesting
children.
one. But and the whole panel was really great. Everybody, I barely had to do anything except for just keep people talking, and everybody was really wonderful. So it was nice.
Yes. So thank you, Jess. And like I said, it was each time that we do International Women's Day panels, I think, how can we top this? And I felt like this year we even topped last year. And last year was fantastic as well, as were the previous years. So,
Oh, and somebody came up to me who she's actually, I know her through the Arts Council, but she expressed interest in being a panelist for next year. So
if appropriate to whatever the theme is, that
yeah.
would be fantastic. And Vanessa just joined us. Please note that Vanessa is present. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hello, sorry, I just got out of work.
That's okay. I earlier mentioned you because I was thanking you for linking us up with some of the faculty advisors to student clubs. We appreciate that very much. Okay.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Okay. Well, the next thing on the agenda was that, and this is starting on Thursday night. I have quite a team of people who would like to work on the Asian Pacific American Heritage, APAH. It used to be AAPI, and the government changed it to APAH. Remember that abbreviation. And so Thursday night, we have Jill and myself, so there's two commissioners. We have the parents who helped me the last 3 years on this. And we also have the faculty advisor for the AAPI club at the high school who is bringing along 2 students from the club. And we're going to be discussing what kind of format that we're looking for, when exactly in May we'd like to have it. It's a larger event. Likely it will be at the AmeriCal Center again, and we'll set the date. But I just thought you'd all like to know that that is moving forward. And we'll have one other meeting the week after. Just a quick follow-up, because I will be away for a period of about 8-9 days in the end of March through the beginning of April. And I wanted to make sure everybody had their assignments and can move ahead and doing the work they have to do. And anything now, the rest of the stuff here really comes under matters not anticipated, because I didn't put on here on activities our June events. And it just so happened last night, Bob Vincent from the town council emailed me and said, when do you want me to ask the town council to approve your flag raisings? So we have to set dates for our June flag raisings. I will tell you that June 1st, we usually on June 1st raise the pride flag. June 1st is a Saturday. So, and it's usually done on a weeknight, 6 o'clock at night, the ceremony and the flag raising. So my question to all of you is, do we do it on a weekend, or do we wait until the Monday, the 3rd, to raise the flag?
What are my pros and cons? I mean, I have a toddler and I don't do anything anymore. So I suppose at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, people might not be able to make it. So I'm fine with either. I haven't really I haven't organized. I mean, I haven't organized the event in the past, so I don't really know as for what kind of what wheels are in motion for that one.
Okay, it doesn't have to be, if it's on the weekend, a
Mhm.
Saturday, it conceivably, if the town allows us and we have the people available to work with us on this, because we have to have people raise the flag for us. It could be in the afternoon, it could be 11 o'clock in the morning. You know, that might even draw more people 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I don't know for whoever raises the flag. I don't know if that's like I don't know what the logistics are for getting that person, and whether I will be ruining their weekend or whether it matters. So I guess I personally am open to doing it on a weekend, in that I think that I'll be available, like I would be available on, particularly on a morning probably. But and it doesn't, that early in the month too, you're not really getting in the way of any other pride events, I don't think. In, at least in the neighboring towns. But I don't, I would have to like kind of get in touch with the what's the woman's name who's the HRC person who's run all of this in the past.
Eileen Rooney, with the previous chair, ran this
Yeah,
last
should
year
I
and the year
ask
before.
Eileen Rooney if like she's got thoughts?
Well, I think it's going to be the preference of this body. Whether we do it on the Saturday, which is the 1st, the beginning of the month, or we just wait till Monday night, the 3rd, and do it that. And again, we have to make sure that if we think Saturday is a good time, that it would be a time available to us. Because remember, it's at the AmeriCal Center, and staff has to be available. And we invite political speakers. We usually have some sort of, it's not a very long event. And we have a little musical program. And I know last time the folks from Wave set up a little table. So we allow people, it's very hard to put exhibit tables around because we're on the steps of the AmeriCorps Center.
Mhm.
And people are standing on the lawn speaking. Last year we had Senator Lewis and Councilman Jonathan Chines speak. We had an invocation from a new reverend from I believe he's with the Episcopal Church. And so it's the kind of thing. We have an invocation, we have a political speaker, we have a little musical element, the flag is raised, everything is done in less than an hour.
Should one of us, and I can do this, reach out to the AmeriCorps Center? It would seem to me that that would be, or the person who raises the flag, or whether it's available
Okay.
for them to do. It seems like that's kind of, that seems to be one of the questions.
Okay, and it's outside, but and it's a matter of some years we've had students from ROTC raise the flag for us, so we actually had an honor guard.
Okay.
And other times we have regular staff raise the flag for us. So that is the choice of the person who chairs. And it sounds like, Jess, you're going to be our chair, which is great. I'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, I feel like
background. I haven't run this event before, but I know the pieces of it.
yeah, I feel like I know that you've got the pieces of it, and I feel like I know some people in town who are, like I probably know some of the people. I briefly know Eileen, who's run this in the past, and I know some other people who are part of groups in town that might be interested. So
Yeah, because like you said, we like to have like some kind of political leader as well as a religious leader, and then some musical element. Like last year, we had Eileen Sunban and another person who led a sing-along. I think it was last year that they led the sing-along. And everyone was out in the streets singing together. And it was, it's a very joyous type of occasion. We always set up a WHAC table. So we need help from other commissioners. And I tell you, by June, we're going to have more commissioners. So we're going to have more helpers. So I guess the first thing, check with Dan McGrath at the AmeriCorps,
yeah.
okay? Whether things like this can happen on a Saturday, or do they have too many other things going on with pickleball and basketball and everything else?
Yeah, I know Dan. I'll get in touch with Dan.
I would be
And then-
happy to help you with that, Jess, and
Sure.
I would maybe have a slight preference to Monday evening. I
Sure.
think that might be a little easier for families, but if other people feel like Saturday is easier, I'm open to
I
that
guess
too.
I kind of don't. I don't like. I guess what I can say, I don't want to say I don't care. I feel like for ease of attendance, it'd be nice, and maybe Monday evening is the easiest for families and the easiest for everybody to get to. For representation, getting it right up on the first really is like, nailed it.
Yeah, I do agree with that too.
But I personally, like, I am remaining flexible on the thing, because it's not a hill I'll die on for either day. So so I'll start by reaching out to Dan just to ask what's possible and to see if anything's going on, and then we can kind of figure out what's the best thing.
And then I have to follow up with Bob Vincent on the council, who will arrange it officially to have it approved by the town council to raise the flag on those days. I would like to ask Chief Scory and Officer Rando if they have any thoughts about the day of the week, because after all, you have your fingers on the pulse of what goes on every day of the week in this town.
I think you should shoot for a Monday night. I think if you go for Saturday, you're gonna have a poor turnout. People have a lot of things going on. Kids have sports. I know the fire department has a ceremony on a Saturday in June. I just don't remember which one it is. But I think historically the event's been on a weekday evening, and I think you should stick with that.
Okay. And I'm not sure when Festival by the Lake is. Is that usually like the first weekend in June? Oh, the book sale is the first weekend in June. I know that. The
mean,
Friends of
Oh.
the Library's
you-
book sale
You also
is
have
on that.
you also have the farmers market that will be starting up. I'm sure it's probably already started by June 1st. I'm not positive, but you have to worry about that on a Saturday morning as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
some of that stuff I feel like people would be out and you might be able to get them to do two things, but the sports thing is probably in I mean, I'm not gonna prevent anybody from bringing their kid to whatever sport they've got to go to. So,
Okay.
I'm fine with that thought. I'm sure Dan will also have a thought and I mean, Jill, you have kids of doing stuff age. I also I'll take your lead because um we're at 3.5. We're just lost. We we don't I don't know what we do.
Well, and
Okay.
if the farmer's market starts that first
Oh
week
my
of
God, the farmer's
June,
market. Yeah, that's
if that's
Yeah.
the case, we could have flyers at the farmer's market telling
Yeah.
people to come out Monday night.
yeah, that would be nice.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we set it for Monday then and then talk it up at if there's a book sale and the farmer's market, then we could do share it with people then, and I can reach out
Right.
to Dan about the Monday, and then you could talk to the town about getting it approved, and we can just be on our merry way.
Okay. And I will tell Counselor Vincent that we would like to have it on the 3rd because it's
Okay.
a Monday. And I have already gotten in touch with the North Shore Juneteenth people because they're always booked up. Well, they may not even be available now for June 19th. And I said, he'll get back to me tomorrow. I said, if we can't have it on the day of Juneteenth, one flag comes down, the other one comes up for a short period of time, and then the pride flag goes back up again. If we're not able to do it on the 19th, we'll try to do it on the 20th. But we always get wonderful support from the North Shore Juneteenth. And that's another occasion where we have an invocation, usually a political speaker, some sort of music, but the Juneteenth group will help us get poetry readings and music that's appropriate for that special event.
So what might prevent that one from being on the
19th, that the North Shore Juneteenth organization that helps us coordinate this might
Yeah.
already be booked.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we should reach out to them. Just it's
Oh, I
a
did.
lot of
I
because
did.
yeah, a lot of people also have that day off, so it would be nice to be able to do something on the day.
Yeah.
But
And that's another event that happens at 6 o'clock at night. It usually is within an hour. And just like the Pride event, no matter what people's identity are, everybody leaves feeling very, very good about it. Something that would occur in Wakefield, a town that we know is not really very diverse, that we would celebrate and commemorate these particular occasions means a lot. I know one year my sister was in town from North Carolina, and she just thought it was so wonderful that we would have a Juneteenth event. She was in North Carolina in a neighborhood with a large Black American population, and they have nothing. You know, they don't, and her city doesn't, at least last year, had nothing. So she really loved the fact that we had that. So I will be back to all of you on that, but I've got the ball rolling, talking to Nicole, and she's a great help when it comes to that kind of thing.
yeah.
And then we actually breathe a little bit in July and August, but next fall, we definitely should aim to have, because we didn't have it this year because they canceled on us. Next fall, we should definitely plan on renewing our Hispanic Heritage event in October, because that was much appreciated, much loved, and very well attended. And actually, the APAH event we did last year was on a Saturday afternoon. We had 150 people. So Saturdays are not necessarily out, depending on what you're offering. You know, 1 hour, people might say, that's disruptive. It's in the middle of things. But if it becomes an event for the family for a whole afternoon, that sort of changes the dynamic a bit.
For gosh, what did I hear? for June, and I know that this will come up for Pride.
Mhm.
We can discuss this at a later date, but I think that there are other, like, our neighboring towns. Sorry, Jeremy, I see your hand. There
Mhm.
are neighboring towns that are doing Pride events, and so I also during that time I think I'll be reaching out to like other HRCs to try and coordinate some stuff just so that we can support them as well and figure out how to kind of link towns.
And their contact people and their information on the resources sheet for
Yep.
other HRCs. Jeremy, you'd like to say something about this particular
Yeah, I
conversation?
just want to clarify. I just checked. The farmers market doesn't start till June 15th. So scratch what I said before. I just went on their website for 2024. So
Okay. And I was going to ask you, Jeremy, and this is matters not anticipated, since you did it last time, can you get us an early date this year for the farmers market?
yeah, I can. I was just thinking because I had it on my notes to bring up at the end because we missed it last time. Yeah,
Yeah,
even
it
though I'm
was
not going to be
late
on
and
the.
it was a horrible
Do you,
stormy day. We
do you
got
guys
soaking
have
wet.
do you guys have a preference? Because I'm not going to be on the committee when you do it. But I'll reach out and ask what's available, and then I can just share it. Like if it's wide open and we
Mhm.
can pick, then I can just send an email out or give you at least the update. So
How about early in August?
okay, all right.
Does that sound? I mean, there'll be different people available. And all we need for that is, different people. We do it in shifts. Uh, like I said, last year, we ended up closing up early because we were soaking wet and there was hardly anybody after a while there at all. I felt horrible for the vendors. It was the last day, I believe, as well. So if we do early August, better chance that we'll have nicer weather. And even if it was raining, it will be warmer than it was last October. It was cold too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll reach out tonight. I'll send an
great.
email tonight, and
Okay.
you can put me down for that, Jess, in the action items.
Okay. So on the to-dos so far, are there any other matters not anticipated before we adjourn?
I had one thing to mention.
Okay.
So I'm also the student representative on the school committee, and I know it's a little bit of a different position because the students vote for you to get the position. And I know for the voted positions during graduation, you get like a stole that says like student representative to the school committee. I was wondering if there's something of like a equivalent thing, like a stole or a cord or something that the HRC does for student representatives, or if that's something that you would be interested in supporting.
Okay. Well, we have not done it in the past. It's certainly a topic for discussion. Okay. Now, you mean like you served the last 2 years? I mean, what we do is we of course give you our heartfelt thank you, but you're saying that not necessarily if it weren't you even, that we present our student representative with some token to thank them for their service on the HRC.
Yeah, yeah,
It would
last
be like a cord like you wear with, I remember graduating,
Oh, I see. You add it to your graduation robe.
right? Am I on?
like the cords like for honors or like for National Honor Society, things like that. I was just speaking to the principal the other day about like stoles for the student representative for school committee. So I was discussing it just came to mind if you guys do a similar thing.
We never have, but if you can send me the information of what it takes to do such a thing, because unless it was $2,000, which wipe out our budget. We have enough. We have money to pay for things like this.
I can't think that it would be cost that's the issue, of course, but
Mhm.
I'd be curious for who else does it, as to how to make it feel a bit more meaningful than that we just went out and got a cord. or a stole to give you. I would like to know like a way, if we're going to start to do this, I'd like to know a way to do it, like have a model for doing it like thoughtfully. Because we do appreciate you. We want to, you know, I'd like to think of how to do it in a nice way.
Yeah. And Vanessa has served on this commission for not 1 year, but 2 years. You
I
know,
do think it's a great idea.
I for the like for a school committee and then for some of the other positions that get stoles. And like if you're in National Honor Society or National Art Honor Society, things like that, we have like a senior awards night. And so that's when you would be presented with the stole or with the cord that goes along with whatever you have served as. So I don't know if that would be something that like you'd be interested in doing instead of just like giving it to the representative. Like I could always reach out to the principal about potentially making that happen. But I don't know, it is a little different because my position here for the Human Rights Commission is chosen by the principal. So like I think I had to write something. This was 2 years ago, so I don't fully remember, but I think I just had to write like why I wanted to be a part of the commission and like why I was interested. And then she selected me for it. Whereas the other positions that already do get a stole, those are elected by the like class, so by the senior class.
Right. If there's anything that would be kind of like a service recognition or anything like that, I mean, I think I would be interested in just having somebody reach out with like a thought, or if you want to reach out and find out what you can, so that we can kind of just think on how best to be involved, to do this, to do it,
yes.
to, you know, to like kind of be part of this, like being at a ceremony and recognizing service, I think is nice, but you know, in a way that will make the most sense.
And I would be delighted, depending on the date, to be at that senior awards night. Do you have a date?
I don't think they have a date right now. I can reach out to people who would potentially know that information. I think historically it's been the last Tuesday in May or the last Monday in May. It's like that last week after the seniors get out of school. So my last day of school is May 24th, so it would be sometime in the week after that. But I can reach out to people and see if they're planning. I know they haven't put out any like definite information about it, but they might have it in the works.
Okay, I was just looking at the calendar because, you know, last Tuesday or first Tuesday, I could definitely be there if we do this. Could you just get us very much more details about what would be appropriate, if it's appropriate, and who we should be talking to about arranging an HRC honor of this kind?
Yeah, sure. Because I really like would like this to be like an annual thing, like not just like doing something special for myself. Like I really am interested in doing it for, people after me and making it more of a tradition.
And I would too. I mean, so far I've worked with 3 student reps. 2 of the 3 were phenomenal, always present, always helpful. 1 not so, but if we make it a tradition, it's like when you tip, at a restaurant, how much do you? I'm wondering if we make it, I would like to think that this would be something that is really meaningful for the people who are true contributors. And like I said, there was 1 year that I met our rep exactly once, and she didn't come to meetings. And she had a personal schedule that was even busier than the busiest grown full-time working parent that I've ever met. So I understood that, but it made it difficult because we were lacking that student representative. But you and another one who served for 2 years as well was just was phenomenal. And we're depending on you, Vanessa, to look in the youth council for people coming up and helping us get the right person, recommended to the principals and to the town council for our commission.
Yeah, I think that could also be like a good place to like have recognition for the position, because I didn't really know that much about the position until there was a vacancy, and then Miss McLeod reached out to all the students asking them to apply, and then I eventually did, obviously. But like I don't think too many people know about the position since it's not in the normal like time frame where they send out all of there's like a list that they email us with all the different positions that you can have, and the HRC isn't on there because it's not voted by the student. So I feel like by doing this, it could also serve as kind of like recognition of the position, of so that people could be inspired to have the position when they're older too.
Yeah. And it's a nice thing to have on your college applications that you served on a commission of this sort. So are we all in agreement that we would like to explore and if all the pieces fall together, are in favor of doing this for now and into the future? We can't vote, but I'm just getting a consensus. And it can be everybody because it's not a vote. So, Amy, Steve, you can weigh in on this as well. We really, appreciate your being here tonight. So I'm
I think it
seeing.
would be something, I think it should be something you talk to the school committee about. If they do it for their student member / liaison, check with them and see what their policy is on it.
Okay, I'll speak to Pete Davis, who is our representative, about this and say it was brought up. So we'll get a variety of different viewpoints, and we'll know by mid-April. That should be enough time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that when my son graduated last year, he's an Eagle Scout, so they actually have a stole for Eagle Scouts as well. So that one you just purchase. So, but I agree with Chief Scory that we should figure out sort of what the school policy is on it, because this is, again, like you said, a school related appointment as well.
Right. Okay, I will check with Pete, and Vanessa will get just the other details, and we will make our final decision at our next meeting.
Yeah, that sounds good. And even if we can't like figure this matter out until afterwards, I'd be interested in pursuing it for future representatives.
And even if this does not happen in this way, I would be very happy to attend the awards night, and if nothing else, present you with a certificate of appreciation for all you've done for us.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Sherry.
Okay. Any other matters not anticipated? Okay. In that case, do I have a motion to adjourn at 7:51 p.m.?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, that's Jill made the motion, seconded by
Seconded.
Jeremy. Okay, and everybody go out there and find us some new wonderful volunteers to continue this work. And I'll be speaking with several of you at different times over the next few weeks. Thank you so much for tonight.